Wow, a really tough act to follow there. It's really funny to be giving this speech today about myself and my school because, like Brandon said, I've in fact been an ambassador for the Denver Center for International Study now for 7 years and have in fact delivered countless speeches to parents and students, community leaders, and probably many ISSN and Asia Society team members who are all here today, all about the importance of globally focused education and the impact it has had on me and my goals. However, this is the first time that I have the distinct pleasure of giving one of these speeches as an alumni of one of ISSN's amazing programs. And now, rather than having to do a sales pitch for my school, I get to just share my experience and also express the immense gratitude I have for ISSN as well as DCIS for my education. I cannot even begin to describe how much the education I have received from the Denver Center for International Studies has really shaped me. I began my journey at DCIS as a naive but curious 5'2", Croc-wearing 11-year-old, trying to understand the world and my place in it. Now, 7 years and 8 inches later, I am a global citizen. I am an advocate, an activist, a translator, a leader, a pioneer, and an aspiring humanitarian. These are all traits and skills that can easily be linked to the program that educated me. Before I go on, I want to share with you all a little more about myself, as well as the specific program that I belong to inside of ISSN. So DCIS began as CIS, a program inside of West High School for 20 years, and then in 2006, the program became a standalone school. So like Brandon mentioned, I belong to that pioneering class of 6th grade students that roamed the halls of 574 West 6th Avenue with 9th through 12th graders. As our school grew and as my class moved into 8th grade, we were finally a full middle and high school program. As a pioneer, I suffered through the growing pains and constant changes that were being made to the program as I moved through it. However, I also got to be a leader in our small community. I got to be an active participant in my own education and have input about the evolution of my school. I founded my own clubs, developed my own projects, and began discovering things about the world and in turn myself. As an International Studies School Network student, I had incredible educational opportunities that reached far beyond the confinements of a traditional classroom. As an 8th grader, I went on a global service learning trip to the Yucatan Peninsula, and not a year later, I traveled with Eric Weinmayer, the first blind man to climb Mount Everest, and guided blind and visually impaired Mexicans and Americans to the summit of Iztaccíhuatl, the 3rd largest volcano in Mexico, to prove that you do not need to see the world in order to discover it, to fight discrimination against the blind. I then spent the entirety of my junior year studying abroad in the Philippines, and finally, during the first semester of my senior year, I spent a month in northern Uganda working with an amazing NGO called Women's Global Empowerment Fund with a Ugandan staff to organize Kiko Polpa Mangulu, or Creating a Voice for Women, which created a stage for women to share their thoughts and opinions regarding the role of women in peace building and security in Uganda. Through both my academic studies as well as travel, I began to understand what it really meant to be a global citizen. During my time as a Rotary Exchange student in the Philippines, I created the definition. A global citizen is a person who is multilingual, culturally aware, and internationally connected, who can adapt to unknown circumstances and does so with gusto and enthusiasm. This understanding of global competency continued to evolve, and it became more and more clear to me that being a global citizen is so much more than what I had learned in my classes and just knowledge. It was the broadening of perspectives to encompass more than just the place that I had been born in. It was the ability to be comfortable in the uncomfortable and to be a critical thinker and a problem solver. During my time in the Philippines and Uganda, it became apparent to me why it is important to be globally competent beyond what can be absorbed through a book. Although I had been exposed to and knew the definitions of poverty, hunger, socioeconomic disparity, it wasn't until I was actually in the Philippines, living adjacent to a squatter zone, that I really understood the reality of what those terms look like and feel like. To me, being globally competent is having the academic foundation to understand multifaceted issues, but just as importantly, it is possessing and understanding your human connection to the people who are experiencing these realities. A favorite quote of mine is, "A different world cannot be built by indifferent people." There are not enough people in the world today who are passionate about enacting global change and have the facilities and capabilities to do so. This, to me, is a true tragedy. But this tragedy is being rectified by people like you, educators, globally minded, passionate teachers and administrators who are working to broaden the minds of young individuals who have the potential to change the circumstances that exist in the world today. I would like to quickly thank the exemplary staff and faculty from DCIS that have molded me into the student and person that I am today. I owe them a huge debt of gratitude, not only for the things that they taught me, but also for the relationships that they fostered with me. I think a common experience across ISSN are teacher-student interactions that go far beyond those seen in traditional education. My teachers were my role models, advisors, parents, and even friends. They, like all of you here today, are creating a generation of globally competent game changers, just like Felix. In the fall, I will be double majoring in government and anthropology at Smith College, and it is undeniable that the globally focused education that I received has prepared me for the challenges I will face in college, but also in my career. Beyond that, my education allowed me to become the person I am today. It pushed and challenged and shaped me. To me, the true power of ISSN schools is that they create lifelong learners who seek out opportunities to learn and are passionate about the world. Through independent learning projects, community service, internships, traveling, and work done in classrooms, alumni are incredibly prepared to participate and be successful in the ever-evolving and globalized world. My peers who are students and alumni of these amazing programs have already begun enacting global change. They have identified injustices and then fought to rectify them. I believe that we now have the skills, understanding, and passion to change the world because ISSN has equipped us with the knowledge and empowered us with the opportunities. Thank you.